I was abandoned at the age of 5, along with my sister. My mother had us at the Salvation Army at this time, after we had been in and out of different people's homes. But that was my first taste of rejection in my life. Being abandoned by my own mother was very hurtful. We ended up living with my sister, who was 15 years older than us, and she quickly became my mom. I didn't really look at her as my sister any longer because she took us in and took care of us. Her husband, who was also considered my dad, and that's what I call them, that's my mom and dad, they kept us in church. My dad was a pastor, and so we were in church every time the doors open. But the fear and the feeling of rejection never left me. I wondered where my biological father was for many years. I wondered why my mom didn't want us. And so that fear of rejection settled into me even into my high school years. I was very promiscuous, dated many different guys, and in my senior year, got in a lot of trouble, skipped school a lot. That's when the drugs came in. And I had nothing, I didn't want anything to do with Christianity. I didn't want anything to do with church. There was too many rules. I wanted freedom. And so I was offered a scholarship to college. And so I snagged it up pretty fast, anything to get me out of that home. And there was nothing wrong with our home. It was filled with so much love. But it wasn't the love that I thought I needed. And so in college, I met a guy within the first month of being there. So at 18, I found myself pregnant, my first semester of college. And I was mortified. To top it all off, the guy that I was pregnant by rejected me as well. He didn't even know I was pregnant, but the situation came about after I'd been rejected. And so at 18, I didn't want to be an embarrassment to my family, didn't want to be an embarrassment in school. I didn't want to walk around school being pregnant. And so selfishly, I chose to have an abortion. And in the abortion clinic, I was really in the back of my mind praying that someone would change my mind, that someone would help me. Not that I hadn't heard it from my parents. My parents knew, and they begged me. They begged me not to have an abortion. They told me they would help me. But in my mind, this was the only way that it could happen. And so I did it. No one in that facility took a moment to tell me my other options. So I thought, this is it then. This is what I gotta do. Days after my abortion, I went back to college, and my life spiraled even worse. I continued to be very promiscuous, partied with different guys constantly, and each and every one of them rejected me. I was lonely, very depressed, and ended up losing my entire scholarship. I failed college and ended up having to move back home. It was terrible. And so I go back home, and I'm trying to live a normal life, and it's not working. Full-on depression sets in. And at the time, I thought it was just because of the gentlemen or the men that I was dating that didn't want me. I really thought I was okay from the abortion. I thought I made a bad mistake, but it's okay. About the age of 20, I met my first husband. And he wooed me with his personality, and I thought, great, here we go, someone who's not going to reject me. So let me snag him up fast, and that's what I did. We got engaged. As soon as we got engaged, I found out I was pregnant, and I thought, wow, I have another chance to be a mom. We got married, had our daughter, and within the first year, it was chaos. I was once again rejected, even by my own husband, who found his work more interesting than me. And so we were left at home many nights alone while he worked. And he cared more about himself than he did us. And so after 4 years, we separated, and then within a year, we were divorced. So rejection again. I spiraled again, more partying, more drinking, sex. It was terrible. And I was a huge, what I thought, an embarrassment to my family. And so I wouldn't even go to church. Years later, with my daughter and I living alone, I met a man at my dad's church. I had volunteered to help in the youth. This was my attempt to try and live right for the Lord. So let me jump in and see where I can help, where it's needed the most. And I met my husband through the youth ministry. And when we met, I was fearful because here this man was full of God, loved the Lord, and I didn't feel worthy. I had been rejected so many times in my life, I thought, I can't take another one. I was destined to be by myself. And the Lord opened my eyes to see that I was worthy. And so my husband and I have been together for 14 years. The first year or two of our marriage was pretty rough, emotionally, for me, not for him. I had a hard time believing that someone this good would love me and that would stay with me. And I gained my relationship with the Lord back through my relationship with my husband. And we were full on in ministry and serving. And someone came to our church and spoke about SaveOne, which is an abortion recovery program. And I was broken in the service because the light was shown on my darkness. I had hidden that I'd had an abortion for so many years. I had tucked it away in this little box inside and thought, we're not going to talk about that. I believe the Lord's forgiven me for it, so why do we need to bring it up again? But the light was shown on me at that time. And so I reached out and walked through the SaveOne program and uncovered hidden hurts, hidden emotions that I thought I had let go. It gave so much clarity to why I was angry all the time, why I had a fear of failure, and why I had a fear of rejection, because a lifetime of rejection in my own life caused me to reject my own daughter by aborting her. And so walking through that program with the Lord holding my hand the entire time brought complete freedom and healing that I needed, that I never dreamed I would have. And so now my husband and I have been married for 14 years. We're thriving in ministry, and we have 4 beautiful children. And I'm just grateful to the Lord for all that He has done for me. And I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, if anyone on this earth rejects me again, I know that my Father won't. Looking back, I wish that I had listened to the advice of my parents, who offered to help me take care of the baby, who offered to help me with adoption. I wish that I had reached out to someone that would tell me that there was another option. And I could be holding my daughter today. Okay. I wish that someone would have told me the lasting effects that having an abortion would have on me, the physical effects, the emotional effects, the unforgiveness that I would harbor inside of me, and the guilt and shame, but no one told me. And that's why I work so closely with SaveOne. I don't want to see other women have to suffer and go through the pain that I went through, that I've seen so many other women go through. I want to see them set free and whole. My name is Sonya Wiley, and I am a truth teller.